Boom. What's good, people? It's been a while since I made a video. Again, stress, things like stress and things like that going on. The latest thing that's happened recently. Um, Yesterday, Thursday, I was in the gym. I was doing deadlifts. I warmed up pretty good. 10 kilogram bar, added 10 kilograms in the plates, whatever. Worked it up to 140 kilograms. So my plan was to do 2 sets of 8 with 140 kilograms. So that's about 300 pounds. I was doing the reps 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the fifth rep, I felt this weird popping sensation in my back and like a dull ache. And I was like, "Oh shit, this is danger. This is bad." I dropped the bar immediately, and then immediately after that, I was just in pain. Every time I tried to bend over to pick stuff up or pick up dumbbells to do like pressing, it just had this horrible aching pain. And I had this same pain last year. Last year it was caused by doing Jefferson curls. So a lot of people say Jefferson curls are good for your back. I wanted to introduce them to improve my snatch, um, but they actually had the opposite effect. It loosened the ligaments of my back because there was no muscle there. So it made it even worse. My lordosis became even worse. And eventually I started getting pain. But this time round, this this deadlift injury, I was wondering why am I getting this deadlift injury? Because as a result of the previous injury last year, I started doing these back hyperextensions where you lift yourself from a like a glute ham raise setup, and you basically raise your back like that. So the back hyperextensions, I started doing them, and I was working up to really good weights. And in fact, earlier this week, I'd done the same equivalent of my record, basically. So holding a 10 kilogram plate on the back of my neck and then lifting up for sets of 10, 4 sets of 10. That's my record. So I was like, okay, this is good. My back is in good condition. But then, obviously, when that happened, it got me thinking again. And I had to diagnose again why biomechanically did this happen. And then I realized that over time, over the years, especially the last few weeks, I haven't done my weekend ab routine. So normally I do this intense ab workouts in the weekends, which include rotational work, intense, um, just general intense ab workouts. And that helps to strengthen the muscles around the spine. So not only the spinal rectus, which do that back at hyperextension, but also the um, the transverse abdominis, yeah, the deep muscle inside your abdomen, the obliques, the quadratus lumborum around the back, and all these smaller muscles around the spine, which are underneath the erector spinal. So I realized that because have been doing these over the last few weeks, my muscles basically underneath those spinal erectors were getting weaker. And as I said, over the years, I'd cut out a lot of stuff that I used to do when I was a teenager and also a young adult. Things like planks, I just stopped doing them. I thought it was a waste of time. Um, and things where you like hold your legs in the air for time, or L sits, or basically stuff that basically holding isometric contraction with your back. And what that's resulted in is basically a very weak core. So even though the outside of it, so the abdominal muscles like the six pack and the spinal rector are good, the actual muscles around the core were weak. And so now I've had to change up my routine. So now I've started doing this thing. Um, Maybe you'll be able to see this, maybe you won't. But basically, I'm going to start doing these exercises in the mornings. And basically, oh shit, this is actually hard to get to. Yeah, there. You should be able to see that. Planks, L-sit, side planks. All these exercises are a way to re-strengthen my core and get it back to what it was when I was like a young man. Because when I was like 20, I remember, or 21, 22, I used to work in a warehouse, lifting boxes. Everyone else was like, don't lift boxes like that. It's gonna cause you a bad back. People used to like marvel at me doing squats without belts, and the reason for that is because um, I had a very strong back, so I didn't have any worries or fears because I'd been doing planks. I worked up to a 5 minute plank. I was able to do a 5 minute plank, which is pretty damn good, if you ask me. Especially for someone who's quite like big, or weighing 200 pounds, basically 90 kilograms. 5 minute plank is excellent. Um, I was doing some side planks, some leg raises. I was doing a lot of these exercises which keep the core healthy and strong. But I stopped doing them because I just didn't realize, I didn't see the point. Um, because I was doing other ab exercises, but these isometric type exercises that are integral. It's so important. So just like I did with sprinting, and reintroduce sprinting to help my knees and my joints, I'm going to reintroduce the core exercises, and that's a lesson I've been learning with these injuries I've been having over this past 2 years. It's really just been a journey of relearning the things I used to do, relearning the things that used to keep me healthy. Um, and yeah, on the topic of injuries, I had to, with his latest setback, I had to just think to myself, am I crazy for not giving up? Because when I think about the amount of injuries I've gone through the last 2 years, and the amount of perseverance I've had to display to keep turning up to the gym, even though I'm injured, and I'm recovering from an injury, and I get another injury. So it's always in the back of my mind is a fear of another injury coming, or once I get over this injury, am I going to get another one? It's always been there in the back of my mind, even though I don't focus on it. Focusing on the positive about what I want to achieve. Um, so yeah, this has been interesting. I lost my train of thought, but basically, the last 2 years, I've had 12 injuries. 12. In fact, I had a chat with ChatGPT to statistically analyze these injuries because this is extraordinary. Like, so ChatGPT, we had a chat. I want to understand how rare is this? Like, how the fact that I've gone through this such injury, like how extraordinary is this? So let me first list the injuries. So number one, first injury, back strain last year. Number two, knee injury. Now, this weird lighting. This is weird. I don't know. It's like a ray of light going down here. I don't know what is the cause of that. It's annoying. Anyway, number three, shoulder injury. Number four, another shoulder injury. Number five, another shoulder injury. That was this year. So 4 injuries last year. Actually, I had a Achilles injury. But anyway, I'm gonna come back to that. Number five, shoulder injury. Number six, knee injury. Number seven, another shoulder injury. Number eight, a back strain, which is the one I most recently had. Number 9 and 10, I had a pec minor injury. So like my pec was just giving me absolute brutal pain. Number 10, I had golfer's elbow, my left elbow. Number 11, I had groin injury. I'm doing sprint training. I had this weird groin injury. I fixed it. Number 12, the Achilles injury. I had an Achilles strain. All of those injuries, I've been able to reverse engineer and figure out what the root cause was and fix them. Except for the recent one, the deadlift injury from 2 days ago. So I need to see whether these workouts I've just put into my routine are going to help. But if I wanted to find out how rare this rate of injury is, I asked ChatGPT, or basically Copilot, and basically you can get a Z score, this thing called a Z score, which gives you It basically tells you how rare something is, how rare a phenomenon is. Um, so let's say someone is 6 foot or 6 foot 1, they would have like a standard deviation of like 1 or 2, because they're just like one standard deviation away from the mean, rare from the mean. 6 foot 4 would be rarer, like 2 standard deviations. 6 is even rarer, so 3. So the more standard deviations you have, the rarer your um, the rarer the phenomenon or metric you're measuring. So with my injury rate, 12 injuries in 2 years, my Z score exceeds 6. So basically, I'm placed in the top 0.0000001% of injury rate. So to give you an idea of how rare that is, if I was to put that into percentiles, that'll be 99.99999999999% percentile. So it'd be the equivalent of being within the top 10 earners in the UK in salary. Top 10. Not top 10%, but top 10. So literally like a billionaire. Or like someone who's like a worth a billion plus. So I've been through a lot. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I've been through a hell of a lot these last 2 years. So basically these injury rates, the fact I've still carried on in the gym, when I put into pictures and put into words, I'm just shocked. I'm just like, wow. I'm surprised. Like most people, I even asked ChatGPT, when would people give up? When would most people give up? And ChatGPT said that after like 1 or 2 cycles of injuries, most people just give up and not go to the gym anymore. But for me, I've gone through 12 different injuries. That's on top of all the other stress I've been going through. Like work stress, I've been burnt out 3 times over the last 2 years. I've lost my job, obviously. And then there's some other random stuff just been happening, which I don't want to talk about in the video. But yeah, this just made me think about like my other habits, like retention, semen retention. One of the reasons why why I haven't had the attraction benefits or the so-called potency or synchronicities that I would normally have is because I've just been using all that energy to freaking recover from injuries and stress. So even though my streaks have been long, like 8 months, 6 months, 7 months, um, it's been used up. I've been using my sexual energy just to be alive. So it's actually imagine if I didn't have these struggles. Imagine how potent that would be. Those are some of the thoughts I'm going through my mind. And I'm just thinking about, yeah, when I think about sometimes I think about comparison and I think about people who I speak to, people who like stress about stuff in life. I mean, I used to be one of those people who just stressed about little things, like a hypochondriac. But when I think about the things that people are stressing about, and then I think about the things I've gone through, obviously I hold my tongue and I don't tell them about the things. I don't like try to insult them and stuff. But sometimes I just think, damn, some people you wouldn't understand just how bad some people. Yeah, some people have it bad. You don't understand. So sometimes I feel resentful at people who, I guess, in a relatively good position, but still complain. But then I think about it, everyone's different. Everyone's got different paths. Everyone's got different backgrounds. Everyone's got different life paths. So yeah, there's no point comparing. But yeah, man, when I put into words, just what I've gone through, 12 injuries in 2 years, and I'm still going. I still haven't given up the gym. Man, that's something. That's for me. That's mental resilience that I've built up, which will serve me in the future, I'm guessing. And every single time I've gone through these injuries, I've learned something new. I've learned a new system, a new biomechanical method to improve my body. So basically, every time I go through an injury, I'm actually getting stronger, which doesn't seem like it when you've gone through 12 injuries in 2 years, but basically, it is like that. It's like I'm building new ways of exercising, I'm basically fixing all the weaknesses in my body. So, like in this case, my my shoulders were getting stronger, my wrists were strong, my knees were strong, my ankles were strong, but between that, the core was weak. But once you fix the core, then everything's fixed up. So I don't know, man. We'll see if this will result in elite levels of strength or elite levels of achievement next year. Yeah, it's been tough, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Long video. With that said, take care, peace.